my gosh, I hope you're having an amazing day. So, welcome to the first of many interviews that we're going to be conducting concerning levitation. We are looking to contact 100 people and interview them to bring the possibility of levitation to the forefront of the public. Like this is not like some magic trick anymore. It's not fantasy. It actually exists, and we are getting to know actually and interview 100 people who have levitated because they are out there. So whether it be, assisted levitation, like maybe you came into contact with an entity or an ET and you were levitated in that sense. Maybe it was like your friends as a kid, they did the light as a feather, stiff as a board with levitating with just a finger. Any experience within that realm is valid. Please reach out to us because this is the show where you're going to come on and be able to talk about it and not sound crazy. Like for the first time, in history, in human history, maybe not in history, but still, I'm so excited to get to know all of you and to get to hear your stories. So please reach out to us. We have all the contact information in the video description, and I'll link it up here somewhere as well. But yeah, reach out. I would love to hear your story. Anyways, without further ado, here is one of our first interviews, and I am so happy to bring this information to you guys.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm radiant. How are you?
That's awesome. I'm really great. So hi, LightNet. We're here with the very first interviewee for our new levitation lab, and we're just exploring levitation as a possibility because it exists, and that is so cool, and I'm just so excited to be in the presence of like the first person I've actually met and been able to interview about levitation who has levitated. So yeah, I'm really passionate about this. This is gonna be really fun. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what's some of your passions?
Well, I am Starlight. I go by Starlight, and my passion is to help humanity rapidly, consciously awake, and that looks different at different levels. And currently in the timeline here in Sedona, connecting with other people right now. I am a healer at different levels intuitively. I work with multiple people around the world, traveling right now, just kind of going with the wave and filling it out. Recently became a Reiki master, and working on a curriculum to help teach others and build that mastery level and intuitiveness because we're ready.
Yeah, I'd say we are.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so magical.
Thank you.
That's really great. Yeah. So have you ever considered the possibility of levitation before you levitated?
Yes, I was a very creative child growing up, and I always had this sense of feeling that I could fly. This notion, it's like a sixth sense per se.
Yes.
And I always had this desire. When I was outside, I always felt like this vibration within myself. And it was more predominant when I was at a higher state, like happier and bubbly. It's more of like a radiance, but it's a connection to oneself. Yeah.
That makes sense. I really like that explanation because I had a lot of the same experiences as a kid, except I didn't actually levitate as a kid, but I always felt like I could if I reached some point. I'd be jumping off of objects, seeing like at the peak of my jump, I'm going to fly this time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's really cool. So what was it like to experience levitation? Like, can you tell us your story? Like, what was your first levitation experience like?
That one that I can recall, I was younger. It was between 6 or 7, and it was a subconscious, so I was sleeping. But my mom, she noticed that I had elevated. So I was dreaming at that time. I can recall all of the dream, but I remember flying. So in the dream, sometimes I'm astral traveling or cosmically flying. Sometimes it feels as if I'm here as like a bird, like effect, where I am seeing through another sentient being's eyes, and I'm flying. So I don't know if that sensation has created the vibrational connection that has allowed my physical 3D to explore that remembrance per se. And it has to do a lot, I feel, with gravity and like the sense of knowing your own body to a certain extent intuitively. And once you know that, you're able to understand how everything kind of flows. But it was sleeping.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so what can you tell us about your other experiences too?
There was another one when I was a teenager that I can recall. I was subconsciously awake, but I was also sleeping. So I was in a trance state, lucid dreaming per se. I've experienced that a lot in my younger teenage years up until my adulthood, where you can talk to me while I'm sleeping and I'll have a full conversation. And in that moment, I was on a bunk bed. I was on the top level, and my mom was in the other room, and I could feel her. She had woken up, and she knew something was energetically happening. So she came into the room, and she found me. I was on the border side of the bunk bed, and I was levitating. So I had the blanket on, and it was like, and then she called, and she's like, Regina, and then I fell. And so the impact caused like, not a shock. It wasn't painful. It was more of like falling back into a cloud. So the floor didn't feel hard or anything. And the level, maybe it was 4 feet in the air, 5 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that dropped, but I didn't feel any pain or anything. Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool. It was kind of like you met an air cushion, huh?
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah, but it was like snapping back into my body. So it was like, I'm here, back.
Yeah, and then can you tell us about your latest experience as well?
I was in Poconos Mountains and I was playing a game, like a tag game, with my friends. So I was in a very high energy state.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was running, and at one point it seemed like I slipped. But the way that my feet elevated, I levitated, and everybody noticed. And it was interesting because I realized that the connection could possibly have been the higher energetic state. And I was feeling free, and I was at a rapid pace. I was doing things like running. And so it's like I jumped. Yeah, and then
That's so
slipped,
awesome.
and it's like, and I felt, and it was also the same thing. The impact, it was not painful at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how old were you at that point?
25.
You were? Okay,
Yeah, so that's the most
awesome.
recent, yeah.
You know what's something I kind of have been considering, I was looking at all of these like weight loss programs for myself, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe you have to be like really thin or really physically fit to be able to levitate. Your whole body's, got to be in sync with everything. But as you're explaining, it's just the feeling and also the like vibration that you make within yourself. It doesn't even, like, I could levitate right now, and that is so like eye-opening to me and gives me so much hope. So thank you so much for that. I love that so much. Yeah, so are you able to levitate consciously at this point?
Recently I have tried. There has been meditations that I've gone into, and there has been the vibrational field. I've practiced it with other people, and they've also felt it, so there has been a connection. But I do feel like there needs to be some other elements that I'm still experimenting, but I have been very close recently to doing it. Again, it's a state of vibration. You have to consciously connect your mind and your body, and there cannot be any doubt, so the energy has to flow. And I believe in the chakra alignments is very key. So intention as to doing this, and like being very present, because you have to understand the energetic field around you and your body, because it's like the Merkaba. It's a force field around you, and you can recreate that, which allows the body to energetically lift.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I've done like a little bit of research on the Merkaba, but I'm like still very new to this topic, so I'll definitely have to explore that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that enlightenment. And also, what is the first thing that you would do if you could levitate right now?
Probably just travel the world. Just fly and be free and see the mountaintops and everything, the valleys, and visit people, and just, it would take some time and explore the world.
That makes a lot of sense. When I went to the Grand Canyon last, probably just like a year or two ago, I was just remember looking off the edge and being like, how cool would it be to just lift off, like run off and fly, or jump and fly, or levitate off? That would be so neat, There'd be so many places you could reach doing that. So that's really cool. And then one more, what advice would you have for other people? And it could be just any kind of advice.
Okay. Anything that you put your mind to is possible. Do not limit yourself, and remember that creativity births reality. And just continue to educate yourself, be in tune with yourself, connect to your body, start feeling. That's the key, integration of energy and understanding what that looks like. Not everybody does it the same, so finding ways that that works for you, and doing some research. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and if something seems so out of reach, don't worry about it. Keep searching. Everything that you're in alignment with, normally you have some curiosity with, so keep going and you'll be there soon. I promise. We're
So
here.
cool.
We're here. Energetically, the planet is healing and everything's coming to light, so it's
Yes,
time.
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
I was wondering if you could describe again the experience of you guys when you were running and you lifted off and people saw you. Like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we were running, we were playing this game that's like tag. And so, let's see, memory. I was running away from them to get to the point where I needed to start. And I was really happy because we had just finished the game. And they started running after me after. And so when I was being chased is when I did this. It looked like I slipped, but I did not slip. Both of my feet elevated. And I was like there for a second and then I fell down because I'm like, oh snap. Like in my mind, and then they noticed too. And so in that moment, we were also telepathically connected. So the energetic field, I was receiving what they were receiving because I couldn't see my body. I was in this blissful state energetically, and I was just focused on where I was going. But it was like a force field, I feel, but it was my body projecting it. And so it was just that vibration of love and happiness and just being in the moment that allowed that to happen. And I was like, what just happened after? We were all just trying to figure it out. And they're like, yeah, you levitated. So I was like, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So do you think it's possible in that sense for like the new wave of children coming in that you will just start seeing this happen?
Yes, I do believe that they are able to do it already. If we allow integration for them that doesn't have so much programming that we have had in the last few generations, like society and schooling systems and food and all those things, and we allow them to stay in that high vibrational state by giving them the things that they need, they are here to guide us.
So your husband or boyfriend?
No, my best friend.
Your best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about how he levitates.
Yeah.
So he's expressed it a little bit, but we haven't really talked about it just yet. Yeah. So that would be something that he'd have to express to you guys.
Okay.
But I believe that that's something that high intuitive people or sensitive beings that are integrated now, they have that. But again, it's the environment and the development and society. So when we are in a higher state, it does happen. And when we are connected with others, the vibrational field, we feel the elevation. So it's like 3D, our physical body is sitting, but we are elevating. And we have practiced that in meditations. And the body, and we've been so close to do it all together.
Dang,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come and join some of your meditations.
I would love to have you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great. Are there any other like role models or anybody else you know of that you've
Yeah.
been like?
So maybe someone you look up to energetically, like who has something you want to achieve.
Let's see. I mean, I can talk about possible theories that I've discovered with levitation
Yeah.
and science and like how it transmutes to the body.
Yeah.
Okay, so with levitation, throughout development in my years and research, I like science and math and healthcare, medicine.
Yeah.
I've been studious since I was little. I've been researching a lot of things, but I managed to do a lot of things that I couldn't explain, so that kind of threw me in the loop of research. And so with levitation and meditation and telepathy, I had that when I was younger and all of my life. But now it's more of a state that I constantly live in, and it's not periodic. When I was younger, I feel like there was transitions where it was, development and puberty and like all those things. And I did realize that the more you know about elements and the more you understand your body and the scientific level and how everything is harmonized, I feel that gives people the tools to be able to understand how to transmute the energy. And being an energetic being, sensitive to all different fields, frequency and like vibration and light and all those things. It's been an interesting journey developing as a young adult and like seeing where I've been in the past and where I am now. And now that I have more information, I can go back and see and connect the dots. Understanding your body, connecting to it on different levels is key to levitation, because matter does not matter.
Yeah.
And gravity will always be there. But if you understand how the wind moves and how weight moves in the wind and the trajectory, if you understand how your energetic body is connected to your physical body and you can radiate the energy, where now you are lifting, because we are never attached to anything. And the faster that you vibrate, like atoms, you can change your shape and form. And so with that, you can also change your weight, which doesn't really matter in gravity. Well, matter doesn't matter, but it's an energetic vibration. So it's understanding what that looks like within yourself and externally.
Wow. So I got some research to do. I got homework.
I gotcha.
That's fun though.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much again, Starlight. This is great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I love it.
This was awesome. Awesome.
You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, what was kind of mind-blowing to you? Because a lot of it shocked me, and I really can't wait to like hear from you guys, to get in contact with those of you who have levitated. Remember, again, all of our contact information is in the description, so please reach out. Thank you. Goodbye.